everyone and welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be a bit of a makeup look, I'm going to say, not tutorial, because if you're already a subscriber you know that I'm a mum of two and I really enjoy my makeup, and this is just what I have been wearing at the moment as it warms up a tiny bit, and also the kind of look that I would probably wear for spring and summer anyway, and lots of you have been asking, so I thought I would just sort of show you what I've been using and what I'm wearing at the moment. And just a disclaimer, I like makeup a lot and I'm really into it. It's sort of like a hobby of mine, so please do not feel like this is how much makeup you should be wearing every day. There are days where I wear nothing, there are days where I just wear concealer, so we will get right into it and I hope you enjoy it. If you are new to my channel then I would love it if you subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video then don't forget to give it a thumbs up at the end. I would really appreciate it, but enough yakking away from me, let's get started. I've already done my base, so what I've done is I've gone in with my moisturiser, which is this one that I picked up from Boots, which is a new Garnier one, and I'm really enjoying it. I've got the night cream as well. And after that, because this is obviously with spring and summer in mind, I've gone in with a primer, which is a Balance Me instant lift primer that I got in my Birchbox this month. And I don't wear a primer all the time, but I have to say in the spring and summer months when you're a little bit sweatier, it's always a good idea to wear one because it helps your makeup stay on for longer and go on much more nicely. And then finally I went in with my Holy Grail foundation, which is the only foundation I think I will use for the rest of my life unless someone can really tempt me away, and that is the YSL Touche Eclat foundation, and I wear this in the shade B50. So now I've done that, I'm going to go in with some concealer, and my problem areas are normally around the nose. I get redness there and a few random spots, and at the moment I've got some leftover spots from when I was last on my period, and they're taking ages to go because sometimes I do struggle with hyperpigmentation after I've had a breakout. So what I'm going to do is apply my Collection Lasting Perfection concealer on any blemishes or discoloration, and excuse me if I'm looking in the mirror just here, but it's the only way I can do this without it being like a complete mess. So as you can see, I've blobbed that all over my face, and I'm just going to gently take my fingers, I have clean hands, and I'm going to dab that in very gently into those areas so that I'm not just smearing it all over my face. I'm gently working it in to the skin. So that's all blended in, and if you're a mum like me you will always have baby wipes around, and I'm always like just cleaning bits of extra product off my fingers, and I've always got baby wipe to neaten areas up as well. So what I'm going to do now is go on to my under eye concealer. Now the concealer that I love to use under my eyes is the Clarins Instant Concealer, and this is specially formulated for under the eyes anyway, and I absolutely love this. I can see a massive difference every time I use it. So I'm just taking a little bit of this onto my finger, and then I'm going to work that in as I did before. I try and be very gentle around my eyes because they're very delicate area, and I also bring this concealer up onto my lids as well because then you've got a very smooth base to work with. And I just feel like this brightens up my eyes every time I put it on. Like I wouldn't be without it, and it is slightly on the more expensive side, but as you'll see from the rest of this makeup look, you'll see that I don't just use high-end products, I use a mixture, and a lot of these are ones that I use over and over again. I always repurchase them. So now what I'm going to do is just set all of that in place with a kabuki brush. This is actually an e.l.f. one, so it's really inexpensive, and then I've got my Rimmel powder in transparent. And if you want to know like the full names and colours and shades of all these products, I will be leaving all the links down below in the description bar for you. So next up is contour, and I'm a big fan of contour because I have a face like a moon otherwise, and I've been doing it for a very long time now, so it does feel like second nature to me. And I'm just using the Real Techniques contour brush, and I'm using my Anastasia contour kit in light to medium. I do have a favourite shade, as you can see, and that is all used up, so now I am moving on to this one here. So when I contour, I take the tiniest bit of powder and I work it into my skin in a few key areas, and I always take a tiny bit at a time because you can very easily build products up, but you cannot build them down again if you go too heavy. And I like to contour my hollows of my cheekbones around the top edges of my forehead here and underneath my jawline and my nose. So next up, I'm going to go in with blusher, and this is Benefit's California, and it is a very bright and perky peach shade, and I'm just going to gently work that into the apples of my cheeks to give me a nice pretty flush, which would be perfect for spring and summer. I really like Benefit blushes, and I always have done. I remember I used to wear Dallas as a teenager, and I don't know, I'm kind of tempted to get that again because it's kind of like a bronzy shade, which would be really nice for summer with a tan. But I've used quite a few of them now. Rocketeur is another favourite of mine, and I really like this one because it's got that kind of like bright poppy flush to it, and it's really, really nice on the skin. So I put that on. I don't put too much on because I don't want to look like a clown. And then what I'm going to do now is move on to my eyes. So before I put any eyeshadow onto my eyes, I'm going to use my MAC Pro Longwear Paint Pot in Painterly, and this is just kind of like a skin colour shade, at least for me anyway. And I pop this onto my lids, A, to give me a really, really great base to work with, and B, because it does make your eyeshadow last a hell of a lot longer, which again, in the spring and summer months where it's a little bit hot and you're a bit flushed, is a really, really good thing. Now, I was going to use my Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, but I thought I would use this instead because Revolution makeup is much more readily available and a lot cheaper as well. And this is the Ultimate Eyeshadow palette for 2017, and there are loads of shades to choose from. So I'm going to have a look and pick something that's nice and, I don't know, pretty, not too heavy, nice and summery, and then I'll let you know what I've chosen. So for my crease, I'm going to use this coppery shade here because I want to create something that's a little bit more natural and like colours that fit in with this time of year, like nothing too heavy. So I'm going to take that on a crease brush and start working that into the crease, which is just here on my eye. So as you can see, the pigmentation of these is really brilliant for what they cost, and I've gone in with kind of like a cat eye effect here. And what I'm going to do then is take a blending brush, and this is a Real Techniques one, and I'm going to just blend that out so you've not got any harsh lines. And that's the beauty with eyeshadow, like you can undo a lot of mistakes if you blend and just take your time with it. So for the rest of my lids, I'm going to go with this champagne shade here because I think, again, it's going to work really nicely and be a little bit more natural. So I'm going to take a flat eyeshadow brush and gently pat that onto my lid because this is a little bit glittery and I don't want too much fallout like falling on my cheeks. So next up, I'm moving on to eyeliner, and this is the Schwing eyeliner from the Balm Cosmetics, and it is really good, but what I will say is that it's very, very wet formula despite the fact that it's very, very black. But what I'm going to do is just a very, very thin and delicate line because I don't want anything too heavy with spring and summer in mind. So while that dries nicely, I'm going to move on to my eyebrows because for me that just makes sense. It's just the way I always do it. I always end up doing like mascara, highlight and lips last. So the product I'm using is Benefit's Gimme Brow, and I have only just recently started using this, and I absolutely love it because it does define your brows but without them being too heavy, which I think is perfect for this time of year. So I'm just going to go in making light strokes and filling in the parts of my brow that I feel like need a little bit more definition. Coffee break. So that's my brows done, and now it's time for lips. So on my lips, I'm wearing the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Zurich, and I've been wearing this a lot recently and I've had lots of compliments, and I just feel like it's the perfect lovely sort of like, it's like a dusky pink with a little bit more something to it, and I absolutely love it. So I'm just going to pop this on my lips. So for mascara, I'm using the L'Oreal Miss Hippie mascara, and I absolutely love this for volume and length, and I've repurchased it a few times now, so I would definitely recommend it as a drugstore mascara. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So now mascara is done, I'm going to go in with highlighter, and this is the Sleek Cleopatra highlighter palette, and I always do my highlight last, don't ask me why, I just do. And I'm going to go in with, I think I'm going to go through this champagne-y shade here, and I'm just going to lightly dust this on my cheekbones, a little bit down my nose, just any area that you think, oh yeah, the sun was naturally hit there. And then I'm just going to take a tiny bit on my middle finger and dab that into the corner of my eyes to make them pop a little bit. So that is the finished look. I really hope you liked this video. I always feel really awkward when I do them because I'm not a beauty makeup expert by any means, but I hope that it gave you some inspiration or you just enjoyed watching it anyway, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a lovely day. Bye!